We said as a guru, so many lives are dependent on you, or so many lives are dependent on the guru. And therefore, the guru needs to work under the structure established by Srila Prabhupada so that those who are dependent on him will also get to the desired destination. They will not be disappointed. Work within the structure, be protected by the structure, then your disciples will also be secured. So we ask them, what if a guru abandons this structure? If a guru decides to walk outside of the structure, we say there is danger. There will be danger. There is a possibility that it can misuse the resources of the organization. Misuse of resources. And eventually it may lead to fall down. Because as we are protecting the structure is protecting us too. So when we dislocate ourselves from the structure, we become like a child that has walked away from his parental control. A little child just walks into the street, he leaves the parents. The parents are there, he leaves their protection and is walking on the street alone. Anything can happen. So if a guru decide to dislocate himself from the structure, first of all, he will misuse resources, and secondly, it will fall down eventually. Yes. So to protect himself, please, is to work under the structure and be spiritually connected to Srila Prabhupada. Then we say this administrative line of authority and spiritual line of authority, sometimes there can be conflicting instructions. Conflicting instructions. And we gave the example of the Rath Yatra festival to be conducted somewhere, whereby the guru wants all the disciples to meet there because it's an opportunity for other disciples to see their God brothers and sisters. Meanwhile, this disciple is in a temple where they are lacking manpower. So it will be difficult if he lives, for instance, working in the altar. And if he is to go for this Rath Yatra, that means the deities will not be properly attended to. And there are so many dangers if deities are neglected. So the temple president may decide not to allow him to go. So if the guru has already given instruction that all the disciples should come, and the temple president is thinking of the deities and the services this devotee is doing and they are lacking manpower, what should we do? What should the disciple do? Should he leave, abandon, neglect the instruction of the temple president, say, oh, my guru has called me. Guru is a bigger authority. Therefore, I must go. Must he leave the temple and go on his own like that? If he does, the temple president will be provoked. By the time he wants to come back, temple president say, you don't need to come back. Stay there. Stay there. We don't need your services here anymore. Yes. And to avoid situations like that, the guru himself must consult with the temple president before giving such order. And if he has already given an order without consideration, then the disciples should bring the guru and the temple president together. It should arrange for both of them to come to the picture so that they can communicate. Temple presidents should communicate with the guru. Then they should collectively decide on what is best for Srila Prabhupada's mission, because they are both disciples of Srila Prabhupada, and we want Srila Prabhupada movement to grow. The guru wants the movement to grow. The temple president wants the movement to grow. So if there is a clash of interests, then they have to look for harmonious points. They have to look for harmonious points. And extending this to our daily devotional life also. If we have conflicting instructions, What do we do in order to get the best out of the situation? One parameter to measure, one denominator, because whenever there are varieties, the denominator is able to unite the varieties. Yes, the denominator unites or unifies varieties. So what will be the denominator? The denominator in this case will be how much will this situation please La Prabhupada? The pleasure of Srila Prabhupada. Wanting to give maximum pleasure to Srila Prabhupada will become the denominator that will unify the varieties. Therefore, we put everything together. If I act in this way, will Srila Prabhupada get the maximum pleasure? If I act in that way, then do I need to just give up my selfish desire and allow what will please the Prabhupada to thrive? So you have to do like this. The pleasure of Srila Prabhupada should be the denominator that unifies all varieties. Just as service to God unifies all varieties of religion. Without service to God, there is no question of religion. You see? Without service to God. Therefore, service to God is the denominator. Just as service to God is the denominator that unifies various religious systems. So the pleasure of Srila Prabhupada should be the denominator that will unify all our variety of thoughts. If we do that, oh, surely we achieve something better for Srila Prabhupada. So these are some practical things we talked about. And if we continue to apply this, definitely challenges and conflicting instructions may come anytime in our devotional life. But when it comes, we should find a way to approach it in a way that we harmonize the various thoughts without losing focus. In economics, there is a topic, allocative efficiency. Allocative efficiency is a topic in mathematics, in economics, whereby we employ Pareto efficiency. Pareto efficiency dictates that resources are said to be properly allocated when the allocation of that resource will not make one person better off and another person worse off. Allocation is said to be efficient if that allocation will not make one person better off and another person worse off. So therefore we say allocation must be Pareto efficient. Pareto efficiency. Similarly, Srila Prabhupada's pleasure will be the denominator that we will use to unify all the conflicting ideas. Yes. Will it please Srila Prabhupada more? If yes, then go ahead to do it. If it will please, if the particular action you want to do will please Srila Prabhupada less, then don't do it. Look for the one that will please him most. Then in this way, we can harmonize the various ideas, various thoughts, and try to see what we can do for the overall well-being of ISKCON. If there is a need to subordinate our individual interests, in order to fulfill the overall interests of ISKCON, then we should do that individually. Yes. If there's a need for us to subordinate our individual interests, to maximize the pleasure of the achievement of the overall ISKCON, then we should do that. We should suboptimize. Yes. So that is called equifinality, whereby the proper pleasure will be the measure, the yardstick for actions. Okay. So if there's conflict, bring the guru in the picture. And if it becomes too sensitive, you bring the GBC in the picture, bring the temple president in the picture, let them brainstorm together. You, the disciples, stay aloof. Just arrange for them to meet and let them discuss the subject matter, and whatever they resolve on, let that be. You just carry out the instruction. In that way, you can secure yourself. Let the gurus, the GBCs, the temple president brainstorm together. Then let them arrive at a unanimous conclusion. Then that one will be translated to you. Then you follow. Just follow and be secured. Okay? After all, they are all acting for the pleasure of Srila Prabhupada's mission. So these are some situations where the sincerity of the devotee in question is also crucial. The devotee in question, is he sincerely wanting to do devotional service, or you want to hide under some instructions that, oh, my guru says so, my guru says so. So you'll be waiting to get instruction from your guru all the time. Guru will be there in America, for instance, and be giving you instruction. Go and wash the toilets. From America, Guru will tell you that go and do the temple room. Go and clean the temple room. No. That's why the Guru works in harmony, and the temple president works in harmony with the Guru. You see, they are on the operational field. They are the operational manager, the temple managers. So whatever they feel is most practicable here, they should just communicate with the Guru. Then the Guru will also give his viewpoint. Then they agree on something, and the disciple just implement that. Okay, that's why we are doing this IDC course, so that we can know how to implement instructions, because carrying out the instruction of the Guru is the key success factor for the disciple. The disciples should not toy with the instructions of the Guru. And if he finds himself in a situation where the instruction of the Guru conflicts with the temple president's instructions, then he should bring them together and stay aside for them to harmonize. Then he will just take it from there. If he's sincere, there will be no problem. Okay? Okay? They should harmonize. They should ask themselves, what is the larger good? Will this be for the bigger good of ISKCON? Will ISKCON be better off if I take this action? Will I, in my own devotional service, be better off if I take this action? Then they should harmonize polarities. Okay, that is about that. And now we are going to read some points in the student handbook to expatiate or to get the opinion of the gurus on this. Service to Srila Prabhupada and our Guru Paramparam. We read attitude of an ISKCON Guru. Those who accept the service of Diksha Guru or Siksha Guru in ISKCON are required to be exemplary in representing Srila Prabhupada's teachings in their words and personal behavior. The Siksha Guru gives spiritual instructions and inspiration on behalf of Srila Prabhupada and our Guru Parampara. This Diksha Guru gives spiritual instructions, inspirations, formal initiation, and a spiritual name. So the Diksha Guru, the Siksha Guru only give instruction. The Siksha Guru is one who is giving instruction, guiding your daily devotional life, like the temple president, the temple authorities. They are called Siksha Gurus. But the Diksha Guru is the Guru that gives you initiation. The Diksha Guru gives you spiritual initiation, he gives you instructions, he gives you inspirations, and he gives you a spiritual name. And later imparts the sacred Gayatri mantra to a qualified disciple as a service to Srila Prabhupada and our Guru Parampara. So the same Siksha Guru, the same Diksha Guru who give you the first name, first initiation, if he's still on the planet, he will be the one to give you second initiation if you are qualified. The person that will give you the first initiation, that Guru, if he is still on the planet, if he has not left the body, is the one, the right person to give you the second initiation. But if in a case where he has left the body, then another Guru can give you the second initiation. And if it's in a distance, he can instruct a particular Guru to give you the second initiation on his behalf. This is how it goes. So there is always harmony. Then, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's governing body. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, at the time of his departure, requested all his disciples to form a governing body and conduct missionary activities cooperatively. He did not instruct a particular man to become the next Acharya. But just after his passing away, his leading secretaries made plans without authority to occupy the post of Acharya. And they split into two factions, over who the next Acharya will be. Consequently, both factions were Asara. Asara means useless, because they had no authority, having disobeyed the order of the spiritual master. So, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, when he left the planet, before he left the planet, he appointed some men to form the GBC body to govern the movement. But soon after he left, some of his leading disciples started labeling themselves as the next Acharya. This one, the next Acharya, then they divided into two factions. This one said, no, this one is supposed to be the next Acharya. Then they started arguing among themselves. So he said they are both useless, because it was not the instruction of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati for one person to be labeled as Acharya. He said, let a governing body commission manage the organization and the apex. So they both disobeyed that instruction. Therefore, the activities are called Ashara. Ashara means useless. So then again, obey Srila Prabhupada, but not follow the Guru, the GBC. When they say they don't like ISKCON and the GBC, they are really saying they don't like to follow my order. That means they don't like my order. That means they don't have faith in my order. That means they don't have faith in me. That means Guru Apparat. To say they have faith in me is just hypocrisy. So things like that, Srila Prabhupada saw it and addressed it proactively. That if somebody comes and say, okay, you can base Srila Prabhupada, but don't follow the GBC, then he said the person is like a deviant. GBC was established by Srila Prabhupada, and it's Srila Prabhupada's order that GBC manage the movement. So if somebody comes and say, oh, you can follow Srila Prabhupada, but the GBC is not right. Then Srila Prabhupada is saying that that person is hypocrite. In actuality, he does not like to follow the order of Srila Prabhupada. So Srila Prabhupada's order is that let the GBC body be the ultimate body governing its.
We people were not focused, we were not concentrating on cocoa production, we were focused on procurement, and that is why Muhammad directed that no more cocoa.
Okay, but that way you should mute.
Okay.
Yes. Very good. Very good. Okay, now let's come to the next question. How do we relate with the Gaudiya matter? People who are not actually part of ISKCON, but they were Srila Prabhupada's God brothers. Naturally, Srila Prabhupada's God brothers are senior devotees. They are all well learned and they are very expert in everything. So naturally, we are supposed to be seeing them as our uncles. Okay? But something happened when Srila Prabhupada was on the planet. Some of his disciples started going to his God brothers to hear from them. And some of them started criticizing Srila Prabhupada for his disciples. They started criticizing Srila Prabhupada because Srila Prabhupada was successful where they failed. Srila Prabhupada was a householder. And they were sannyasis. They went to the West, they did not succeed. The householder Srila Prabhupada, he renounced and went to the West and he succeeded. So there was some envy. There was some envy. So when Srila Prabhupada openly, with open hearts, sent allied disciples to go and associate with his God brothers and hear from them also, some of them took the opportunity to try to pollute Srila Prabhupada disciples against their guru, against the Prabhupada. They tried to adulterate their consciousness. So the report came back to Srila Prabhupada and he decided to give instruction that his disciples should not go to his God brothers to listen. Once they are envious of him, they cannot say something good. Therefore, to be secured spiritually, don't listen to them. Respect them, but don't go and listen to them. Because once they get the chance, they try to pollute you against me. They will make you to commit offenses against your own guru. So it's not healthy spiritually. It's not healthy for you. So don't go there. Okay? So why? Because some of them were saying that Srila Prabhupada is not teaching everything. He's not teaching everything. He has taught this, but he has not taught about some very high things. So we know those high things that Srila Prabhupada has not taught. So we can teach you those things. So they started trying to teach about the gopis, the spiritual world, bhava, ecstasy, some big things. But what we know is that a teacher may know so much. He might be a university graduate and he's teaching primary school children. Will he come and teach them calculus? If he's a good teacher, will he come and teach primary school children calculus? No. If he's a good teacher, it will come down to arithmetic. It will give them division, multiplication, addition, teach them the foundations, ABC, until when they become mature, they are promoted to the next class. Then something else is added. Next class, something else is added. By the time they get to class 2, 3, they start teaching them simultaneous equation. And before you realize, they are teaching them quadratics. They are teaching them something higher. You see, but a good teacher does not just teach everything that he knows to the student, not considering their frame of reference, not considering what they can take. So Srila Prabhupada was giving what we could assimilate as a good father, as a good mother who knows our capabilities. He was giving us what we needed at that particular time in order to evolve to the next level. Then when his disciple met his god brother, they started wanting to teach. The Prabhupada is not teaching you everything. And we can teach you something higher. So they start teaching about quadratic dy dx. They start teaching dy dx. Then they start teaching calculus. Say, hey, these people, they know so much. Oh. Truly, the Prabhupada was not teaching us everything. Hey, like this. Then they start looking down on the Prabhupada teaching as being elementary in comparison to the other. So these were some of the mistakes his god brothers made, and the Prabhupada instructed his disciples to not go there again, to not go and listen to his god brothers again, because they were envious. They wanted to disrupt what he was. They were not happy with his success. So the Prabhupada detected that, and he gave instructions for them not to do that. So that is it. Spiritual life is gradual. It's gradual evolution, okay? And Srila Prabhupada gives knowledge according to what we need at a particular time. And when we practice what we are taught, the basics, the rest is revealed. This is the point in ISKCON. There are certain things you don't need to go and learn theoretically. They are revealed from the heart. They are revealed by the Lord in the heart. When you are practicing purely, these things are revealed. But to want to know everything theoretically, you are going off track. Grab the one you have, chew it very well, then swallow it. Then it will digest in the stomach. So Srila Prabhupada was giving only what we need at a particular time. Okay? But his god brothers were so eager to teach higher things to Srila Prabhupada god brothers and disciples. Their intention was to try to take away Srila Prabhupada disciples for themselves, because they cannot go and make those people, when they went, they failed. Srila Prabhupada had brought them, so they want to take, their intention is to take them away from Srila Prabhupada by saying they are teaching them higher things. So when Srila Prabhupada detected this envy, he stopped his disciples from going there. So we read some things and you hear, Srila Prabhupada is a pure devotee. Why is he saying this? Don't go and listen to my god brothers. That means he's afraid or he's feeling insecure or what? Don't think so. Srila Prabhupada was trying to protect his disciples, okay, from the hands of those who are envious of him. Okay? So let me read additional quotes. Gaudiya mission has failed in preaching work. Now listen. You must be engaged continually. This is in page 26 of the student handbook. Okay? First, Srila Prabhupada said the governing body commission, GBC, will be the ultimate managing authority of the entire International Society for Krishna Consciousness. This is Srila Prabhupada's declaration of will, June 1977. Then again, there's a subtitle here, Gaudiya mission has failed in preaching work. You must be engaged continually for this missionary activity. The Gaudiya mission has failed in preaching work because they adopted this principle. As soon as they got a little shelter under the name of Mata, Mata means like a temple or ashram, under the name of Mata or temple, a few dozen of, not few dozen, 1,000 disciples, then is settled up there. Now is Bhajana. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. That means he no longer go to preach. Say just stay and chant. Showing that he is very great a chanter. And what is your preaching? Therefore, my Guru Maharaj condemned this policy. Mana to me, Kishara Vaishnava. What kind of Vaishnava are you? Pratistara Tare Niranjana Gari. And simply for cheap popularity, oh, he's a Vaishnava. He's chanting all right. All right. No moderation. Because if there is no preaching, there is no moderation. You can sit down and show people, I have now become a very liberated soul, and chant and meditate. That means sleeping. This sort of business is condemned by my Guru Maharaj. Pratistarat Hare Niranjana Gare Tava Hari Nama Kevala. This is simply cheating. He did not approve this kind of business. He did not approve. He wanted to see that everyone is engaged in preaching work. So Srila Prabhupada is talking about some of his godbrothers. Because when Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, their Gurudev, left, they started struggling among themselves who to occupy which room, because he had some temples. Hey, this room will be for me. I'm the senior devotee. This room, that room. So the focus, the goal is lost. They were interested in getting comfortable ashram, sitting there and be chanting, no more preaching. Then people will come and be giving them donations. Then they will be enjoying. So Srila Prabhupada said, no, that is not what his Guru wanted. The Guru wanted that we should go to the West and preach. And that's how they went to the West and preached. They failed. Srila Prabhupada went and he was able to succeed. He made disciples. And they are now envious of Srila Prabhupada's disciples. So they want to take them away from. So when Prabhupada allowed them to go and listen to his godbrothers started polluting them. That Prabhupada did not teach you everything. We can teach you about Bhava, about Prema, all these highest levels. The Prabhupada did not teach you. So when the news come back to Prabhupada, he instructed the disciples not to go there again. Accepting the authority of GBC was the Prabhupada's order. Vaishnava doctrine holds that the essential qualifying characteristic of a guru is that he follows the order of his guru. He never becomes the master, but always remains the servant. Consequently, to be qualified as a guru in ISKCON, it was essential to strictly follow the order of Srila Prabhupada, who had declared that all devotees must serve cooperatively under the authority of the GBC. Accepting the authority of the GBC board was not a voluntary option because it was Srila Prabhupada's order. It was necessary to guruhood itself, So that is it. Every bona fide guru must be loyal to the GBC as the ultimate governing body in ISKCON. Okay? Then the disciple must carry out the spiritual master's instructions without deviation. Then this is a continuation. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj comments in this connection. One can become perfectly successful in the mission of his life if he acts exactly according to the words he hears from the mouth of his spiritual master. This acceptance of the words of the spiritual master is called Struta Vakya, which indicates that the disciples must carry out the spiritual master's instructions without deviation. Srila Viswanatha Chakravarti Thakur remarks in this connection that a disciple must accept the words of his spiritual master as his life and soul. So that is it. Whatever Srila Prabhupada has established, we have to follow it with all loyalty. Okay. So, are there some questions or commentaries on this point so far? Questions or commentaries?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, I have a couple of questions.
Carry on.
Okay, quick one. I want to know what makes one a guru? What makes one a guru? Is it by how much of time they have done devotional service? Although that may not be correct because I've seen very young gurus, so it's not about age. So I'm wondering what qualifies one to be a guru? Then in my head, I used to think that a guru was the same as a science. I didn't know they were different. So what makes one a guru and what makes one a science? What's the difference? Yeah, I think those are my questions. I want to know why somebody becomes a guru.
Why somebody becomes a guru?
Yes, why is a guru a guru?
A guru is a guru because he follows the instructions of his guru perfectly. Because every guru has his own guru also. The qualification of a bona fide guru, number one qualification is that he must have his own guru and he must follow the instructions of his guru without deviation. Okay? If he's following like that, then he's qualified to become a guru. Just by following strictly the order given by his guru, he can become a guru. Because following strictly means the guru tells you to follow certain principles. You are following those principles strictly, chanting 16 rounds, following all the regulatory principles, rendering services, not wasting time, dedicating all the time for preaching. If you do this consistently, then you are qualified to become a guru, provided you don't deviate. Okay? In other words, those who are living by examples, as the guru lived, they become gurus later. The loyal servant become a master in due course of time. Then secondly, there must be no philosophical deviation. The guru does not manufacture his own philosophy, but he simply repeats what the previous acharyas have said. That's why a guru must be versed in the scripture. He must be vast, very vast in the scripture, so that he should be able to answer questions, and his answers should not be speculative. He should be able to quote authoritatively, make reference to previous acharyas, make reference to previous teachings and lectures, make reference to specific quotations in the scripture. It does not speculate. He knows the philosophy very deeply, one, and two, he must be properly connected to the chain of discipline. That means he must have a guru and he should follow the instructions of the guru to the letter. Then he can become a guru. That's why I say, even if somebody is not yet a pure devotee, provided he's following the instructions of the spiritual master strictly, it's just a matter of time. It will become pure. Just like a green mango on the tree. It is not ripe yet, but as long as it remains on the tree, in due course of time, it will become ripe. So the important thing is for you to remain loyal, to stay on the tree. As long as a disciple is loyal to his guru, following his instructions with great determination, in due course of time, he will become pure and become a guru also, living by example. So these are the qualifications of a guru. First, he must be properly connected to the parampuram. That means he must have his own guru. His own guru must have his guru. It's an unbroken chain of disciplic succession. First qualification. Second qualification, that he must be very vast in the scriptures and does not manufacture his own philosophy, but should be able to quote and make reference to all previous acharyas. And that makes him a bona fide guru. Otherwise, he can become a bogus guru. But in our ISKCON, all ISKCON disciples are ISKCON gurus are bona fide gurus. Hare Krishna. Dr. Paul, wait 1 second. Let me answer the call. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Dhanavad. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Yes, Dr. Paul, your question. Sorry for that. Our National Council chairman called me. Yes, you have a question. Hare, Hare Krishna, Dr. Paul. Hey. Your voice is cracking like anything. Your voice is cracking, no, we can't hear. You better send your question in form of a message. Your voice is cracking. We are not hearing anything. We can't hear you clearly. Your network is not good. No. Unless you type it on the message. Anybody hearing him? No. The network is not good. Still not hearing. We are not hearing. Just type the message.
Okay.
We are not hearing you. The network is not good. Type a message on the chat. Okay. Bhakti, it's okay. You can take that. And as we go on, you will see more the qualities of a guru.
Okay, I have another.
We are just going into that. So as we go along, you will hear it more clearly. Yeah?
I have another question.
Okay, carry on.
Okay, and when one is opportune to be in the presence of a guru or to associate with a guru, what kind of conversation should one engage? What should one say? What are the like appropriate things should one inquire about? Or one should just be sober and just listen to what the guru has to say?
Anyway, see, that also is a lesson in front there. But before then, I can still give a hint. Yeah, if you are in the presence of the guru, you should inquire. Wherever you are not clear, you should ask questions. But you should not go and ask some quick questions like that. What is the distance of the sun to the earth? The guru, you're supposed to know everything. So what is the distance from Brahmaloka to Krishnaloka? Not those kind of questions, okay? You should ask questions according to your level. They are called relevant inquiries. Your inquiries must be relevant based on your level. So there are 9 stages of devotional service from Strada to Prema. 9 stages. So depend on your stage, okay? You should ask questions that will boost your faith. Questions on your level, how to control your senses, how to focus, sharpen our determination, how to behave when there are challenges. These are the questions we should be asking on our level because we are devotees in the making. So all those obstacles arising from the mind, doubts arising from the mind, on how to become properly steady devotees. Those things that are not making us to become steady devotees. You should ask the guru how to overcome those questions. That means those challenges. That means your questions must be relevant to your level of evolution in consciousness. Understand? But you should not go and say, oh, what is Balaram's relationship with Radharani? Those kind of questions. They are for devotees who have attained Prema Bhakti. So they are different level. They ask questions based on your level of development, what you need to overcome in order to move on to the next stage and to move on from Kanista Dikari to Madhyama. These are the questions you should be asking. Now, most of us are Kanistas. Understand? Most of us are Kanistas, some are Madhyama. So you ask yourself, what are your obstacles, your daily challenges? What are the things that are making you not to perform devotional service expertly as you're supposed to do? So identify those things, ask questions based on that. How can I make advancement to the next level? Then those are the relevant inquiries, okay? But we are going to come to that. Yes. When gurus are already giving us instructions, when they give us instructions, why are we not able to carry out the instructions of the gurus perfectly? Why? What are the obstacles coming from our own minds? How can we overcome the disturbances, doubts arising from our intelligence? The guru will be able to guide you gradually up, understand? So that is it. First, know your level of devotee-ship, then ask questions based on that level. What you need to overcome in order to get to the next level, questions based on that. The guru will be happy to. Okay? When we come to those topics proper, we deal with them very well. Okay? For instance, there is a lesson. The next lesson is called Guru Padasraya. The next lesson after this is called Guru Padasraya. That means taking shelter of a guru. What does it mean by taking shelter of a guru? How to take shelter of a guru? Why we must take shelter of a guru? Then details are given there. So by the time we finish trashing that, selecting the guru, the next one, before we finish trashing that, you will see that you are going closer and closer and closer. And questions about the gurus are becoming clearer and clearer and clearer. But for now, we just give you a hint of that until we get there. Okay? But Paul, have you sent your question? Have you sent it on the chat? No?
Yeah, I just sent it now.
Okay. From the gurus and ISKCON authorities' instructions, it says, obey Srila Prabhupada, but not follow the GBC. My question is, why not obey Krishna and Prabhupada, but not follow the GBC? Does it not look like Krishna is sidelined by using obey Srila Prabhupada, but not follow the GBC? Okay, this your question is there is some misunderstanding there. Obey Srila Prabhupada, but not follow the GBC. This is the idea of some devotees who are disgruntled with the GBC. They are also senior devotees, but they were not appointed as GBC. So they have some slight envy towards those who were appointed because they were all mates. And some of them feel that they even were doing better than some of those people that were appointed. So these are Srila Prabhupada's, almost Srila Prabhupada's disciples who have demonstrated some subtle envy towards their god brothers that were appointed into the GBC when they themselves were not appointed. So they were like propagating some philosophy, some perverted philosophy. You can obey Srila Prabhupada, but don't obey GBC. Obey Srila Prabhupada, but not follow his GBC. They were propagating some philosophy like that. So the point here is that we are trying to say that is wrong. That is wrong. It is wrong to try to obey Srila Prabhupada and neglect the GBC. It is wrong. On the other hand, one who is actually right is one who obeys the GBC at the same time follows Srila Prabhupada, because the GBC is Srila Prabhupada's instruction. Srila Prabhupada established the GBC. So if you say don't follow the GBC, you are saying indirectly don't follow Srila Prabhupada. That's why Srila Prabhupada made this, we have this S up here. Srila Prabhupada was saying, hey, if you go to page 25 of the student handbook, page 25 of the student handbook, where you are asking is page 26, but on page 25, in the middle, look at what Srila Prabhupada said. Obey Srila Prabhupada, but not follow the GBC. Prabhupada is saying, when they say they don't like ISKCON and the GBC, who are the they? The they is talking about are those devotees who have become disgruntled, feeling that they were supposed to be appointed into the GBC, but they were not appointed. So they are angry. They are not satisfied that some of their god brothers are in the GBC and not them. They were not included in the GBC. So they are the they. When they say they don't like ISKCON and the GBC, they are really saying they don't like to follow my order. Are you getting it? He's talking to those devotees that say this is wrong mentality. Okay? That means they don't like my order. This is what Srila Prabhupada is saying. If you say you don't want to follow the GBC that I established, whereas GBC is my order, it means you don't like my order. You don't want to follow my order. That means calling yourself that you are following Srila Prabhupada and neglecting my order is hypocrisy. He said that means they don't have faith in my order. That means they don't have faith in me. That means Guru Aparad, that is offense to Guru. Aparada to Guru. To say they have faith in me is just hypocrisy. So Srila Prabhupada writes this letter. Okay, oh no, it was in a lecture. Lila Mirita, 1975, is called Honolulu, Hawaii. Srila Prabhupada Lila Addendum to Srila Prabhupada Lila Mirita. So can you get it now? Dr. Paul, can you get it?
I can get a bit of it.
Yeah, these are some disgruntled
It's not
disciples. Your network is still not good. Your network is still not good. Oh, Baba, your network is not good at all. Not even one word come out. You just making. Okay. Then, now the one in page 26, where it says, obey Srila Prabhupada, but not follow his GBC. This, let us read it again. Another confrontation took place in Srila Prabhupada's room with devotees who insisted they could faithfully obey Srila Prabhupada, but could not follow his GBC representative or his ISKCON. The devotees in Prabhupada's room had formerly been leaders of ISKCON Hawaii, but had left and were now threatening to use the funds and properties in their own name. Prabhupada kept asking them simply, why did you leave? Why don't you stay? Why don't you surrender? But they insisted that while they trusted Prabhupada, they could not trust the GBC. So there is a whole room conversation here. One of the GBC members in the room became exasperated with their refusal to accept Prabhupada's simple request of surrender. You may say that you accept Prabhupada. Yes, they replied. And you say you have faith in him. Yes. You say that whatever he asks, you can follow. Yes. So then, if Prabhupada asks you to follow the GBC, will you do it? The room became tense and silent. No, we cannot follow. When they uttered that no, Srila Prabhupada dropped his fist on the table and pointed to the deviant devotees, declaring, just see the hypocrisy. Like this, just see the hypocrisy. Even after Prabhupada's talk conclusion, they maintained their we surrender to you, but not to ISKCON. And not to ISKCON philosophy until Prabhupada asked them to leave. Prabhupada practically sacked them from the room. Practically sacked them from the room. Huh? To the other devotees remaining in the room, Prabhupada remarked, when they say they don't like ISKCON and the GBC, they are really saying they don't like to follow my order. That means they don't like my order. That means they don't have faith in my order. That means they don't have faith in me. That means Guru Aparat. To say they have faith in me is just hypocrisy. So you get it now? Very clear. These are a set of disgruntled devotees. And they are becoming rebellious. And they are saying they don't like the GBC just because They were not appointed to be there, whereas some of their god brothers were there. So they were envious of their god brothers that were there. So they cannot accept, seeing those people are the ones conducting the GBC. But they can accept whatever Prabhupada says. Prabhupada said, no, I instituted the GBC. So if you say you cannot accept the GBC, that means you don't accept me. You don't accept my other instructions. That means you are a hypocrite. What are you saying? You accept me, but what I instituted, you are rejecting it, even in my presence. Why don't you just surrender if you say you have faith in me? Okay, so it is like this, okay? It's referring to those devotees. So to accept the GBC, those who accept the GBC as the ultimate governing body in ISKCON, they are the bona fide, they are the properly following devotees. Now, accepting the authority of the GBC was La Prabhupada's order. Now, listen again. That's on page 26. Vaishnava doctrine holds that the essential qualifying characteristic of a guru is that he follows the order of his own guru. He never becomes the master, but always remains the servant. Consequently, to be qualified as a guru in ISKCON, it was essential to strictly follow the order of Srila Prabhupada, who had decreed that all devotees must serve cooperatively under the authority of the GBC. Accepting the authority of the GBC board was not a voluntary option because it was Srila Prabhupada's order. It was necessary to guruhood itself. So one who cannot accept the order of the GBC or the GBC is not qualified to become a guru. Yes, because the gurus are supposed to operate under the GBC body. So if you don't accept the GBC, that means you cannot become a guru. And it is the GBC that is supposed to approve the guru. That means you will not be approved also. So it's like that. In every setting, there are devotees like that. And this level of envy is very, very subtle. So it can be in any sphere. Very advanced looking devotee can be harboring some envy against his god brother. See, and it becomes manifest in situations like this. When that person you are envious of is appointed into a bigger position, you will say, I will not follow any instruction coming from those persons. Because this person, I know this person very well. I'm a better devotee than him. Why did they appoint him there and not me also? So I will not follow any instructions from him. That kind of stuff. Yes, more questions. It's unfortunate that Dr. Paul's network is so bad that we cannot hear the voice. So unless he sends his question again in the chat. Okay. So Srila Prabhupada has also written many letters to answer salient questions, some of the disciples, and generally we quote them out of context. We should always ask ourselves, is this what Srila Prabhupada wants? Will this please Srila Prabhupada? Because Srila Prabhupada is the founder of Acharya and his directions must be followed. Then we should therefore be very careful to maintain loyalty to Srila Prabhupada and always act within the managerial structure established by His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Now, two more. Let me read these ones also. A disciple should always remain a fool before a spiritual master. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself presented the perfect example of how to be a disciple. A spiritual master knows very well how to engage each disciple in a particular duty. But if a disciple, thinking himself more advanced than a spiritual master, gives up his orders and acts independently, he checks his own spiritual progress. Every disciple must consider himself completely unaware of the signs of Krishna and must always be ready to carry out the orders of the spiritual master to become competent in Krishna consciousness. A disciple will always remain a fool before his spiritual master. This is Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila 772. And lastly, a thoughtful man must act in this way, learning to distinguish right from wrong. We will therefore live in such a way that we keep ourselves always healthy and strong in minds and intelligence, so that we can distinguish the goal of life from the life full of problems. A thoughtful man must act in this way, learning to distinguish right from wrong, and thus attain the goal of life. This is from Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th Canto, 6th chapter, verse number 5. So, for further quotations, you can go to the appendix. Appendix is at the last part of the book from page 76. Is it 76? No, not 76. Not 76. The appendix starts from page 64. The appendix starts from page 64, and there are extra informations there. And I think from the next, we have some powerful quotations there from the next lesson, lesson 5, Guru Padasraya. So our next class is Guru Padasraya. Pada Asraya means taking shelter of the lotus feet of the Guru. That is the meaning of Guru Pada Asraya. Pada means feet. Asraya means shelter. So Guru Pada Asraya means taking shelter of the lotus feet of a Guru. So what does it mean? Who is a Diksha Guru? Who is a Siksha Guru? Then what is the meaning of Guru Padasraya in this con? What is Siksha Guru Padasraya? What is Prabhupada Asraya? All this will be answered in our next class. Okay. So on this note, we'll say if there are some questions or commentaries, be free. Let us continue to ask questions to clarify some of the doubts, prompt ourselves to read more of the collections in the student handbook. On our own, we should also read. Okay, there's something also here on page 25 in the student handbook, where Srila Prabhupada is saying the gurus outside of ISKCON. Gurus outside of ISKCON. This refers to Srila Prabhupada's God brothers, mostly. Because ISKCON was founded by Srila Prabhupada. His God brothers, who are also preaching the same Sanatan Dharma, they were the ones we were talking about, because when they went to the West, some of them were sannyasis. Sannyasis are considered higher than the householders in terms of the structure. So these sannyasis went to the West to preach, but they did not succeed, meaning they couldn't make any impact. They were facilitated. They were supported with everything, every facility, yet they went and they came back without making any disciple. But Srila Prabhupada was a householder who by that structural arrangement is lower, and he went to the West and he succeeded. He established ISKCON and he made thousands and thousands of disciples. So when Srila Prabhupada came back with these disciples, this is God brothers that did not succeed when they went. Some of them became a bit envious and threatened and minimized. So when some of Srila Prabhupada disciples decided to hear from his God brothers, Srila Prabhupada approved and he allowed them to go hear from his God brothers. Then the God brothers were so eager to teach the postgraduate aspect of Krishna consciousness, which by Srila Prabhupada teaching is supposed to be revealed, realized. That when you follow the basic principles very well and you are practicing Krishna consciousness, the rest will be realized. So Srila Prabhupada was taking us according to our frame of reference, according to what we can assimilate. But they want to jump to go and teach the postgraduate aspect, calculus. They want to teach calculus and scatter diagram. And it looks very attractive to those who are intellectually inclined. So they were going to listen to them. And in the process, Srila Prabhupada God brothers were trying to adulterate their consciousness. That Prabhupada did not give them everything. They can give them everything. They have failed to make devotees. But they are now envious of devotees that have been made. They want to make those Srila Prabhupada disciples their own disciples. They want to make devotees out of the people that Srila Prabhupada has brought. They could not make devotees directly from the West. They want to make devotees out of the ones that Srila Prabhupada. And to do that, you have to blaspheme and minimize Srila Prabhupada for his disciples. Then the inattentive one will begin to commit offenses against his guru. Then we gravitate towards them. So when the report came back to Srila Prabhupada that they were like trying to minimize him to his disciples, then Srila Prabhupada told the disciples not to go to listen to them again. Srila Prabhupada told the disciples not to go listen to them again. So this is this aspect. He said, never try to hear someone who is not in our line. Better you should stick to hearing from authorized persons, like your spiritual master or experienced God brothers. But never try to hear someone who is not in our line. It is simply a waste of time to hear and then again have to rectify the mistake. Then again say, please avoid them. I have now used others that all my disciples, I have now issued orders that all my disciples will avoid all my God brothers. They should not have any dealings with them, nor even correspondence, nor should they give them any of my books, or should they purchase any of their books. Neither should you visit any of their temples. Please avoid them. So this is direct instruction. And this is coming out of the feedback, yes, that they were trying to minimize the Prabhupada for his disciples, thereby trying to implicate them in committing offenses against their own guru. So the Prabhupada, to protect them, he gave this instruction, gave these orders. Then the question may arise that when we meet such persons, what do we do? Do we minimize them, ignore them, or just treat them like non-entities? Is that not going to be an offense also? So this is the answer. Give him prasad, honor him as an elder Vaishnava, but he cannot speak or lecture. Okay, in case, like they used to come to ISKCON temple also. If they come to temple, some of them were expecting that they will be allowed to give class. So Srila Prabhupada was telling them like this, He was trying to protect his disciples. Say all Vaishnavas are authorities to preach Krishna consciousness, but still there are degrees of authority. On the whole, if that is Bon Maharaj, one of his godbrothers, motive is to suppress me, and that is why he has come here, how we can receive him? He has already given one professor a wrong impression. He may be treated as a guest. If he comes to our center, give him prashadam, honor him as an elder Vaishnava, but he cannot speak or lecture. If he wants to lecture, you can tell him that there is already another speaker scheduled. That's all. So these are challenges that the Prabhupada himself directly faced. And he was trying to protect his disciples. So let us know our boundaries, that's all. But that is mostly in India. That threat happened in India. That was the early days. And the Prabhupada, it is the Guru's mandate to protect his disciples. It's his duty to protect his disciples somehow or the other. So he was protecting his disciples in this way. So in our next class, we talk about Guru Pada Ashraya, taking shelter of the lotus feet of the Guru. Any question you have, keep it. And Dr. Paul, I know your questions are very relevant questions, but unfortunately the network is not on your side. So anytime it's like that, you just write the question on the chat box so that we can read it out and try to address it. So meanwhile, we want to say thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prabhu, for the wonderful lecture.
Thank you very
Krishna.
much. Hare Krishna, thank you very much. Dr. Amatu is gone, okay. Amatu has been so inconsistent. Only today she came and she's gone on time. Dr. Felicia Danswa has become more consistent. That is commendable. Dr. Isoke is consistent. Dr. Paul is now consistent. Dr. Israel is now consistent. Dr. Isaac, okay, is consistent, though he's gone off again. So thank you very much. And we'll see you on Friday by His grace. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Please, if you have not gotten the handbook, try to get it and read ahead. Wait, there is a question. Let me read. Okay, Prabhu, please. Okay. I was reading from page 26, 25 or 26. Just 25 and 26. I think I was reading from 25. Yes, I was reading from 25, page 25. The last three topics there. Gurus outside of ISKCON. Never try to hear someone who is not in our line. Please avoid them. Give him prasad, honor him as an elder Vaishnava, but he cannot speak or lecture. The Prabhupada is protecting his disciples. So, unit 2 is starting with Guru Padashraya, and we meet on Friday. It's a short topic, so we'll finish it on Friday. That same Friday, we'll finish lesson 5. Then lesson 6 is also, okay, that is quite lengthy. So that will be 2 days. Hare Krishna, thank you. It's come from the Charles La AC Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai.